have a good fire going. And I wanted to see, well, the crack looked different today. It's actually more of a tear. As I described before, it was in the fire, and the fire was hotter than it was before, so it was starting to melt. And I kind of bent it accidentally, and then it kind of, part of it tore open, and so it resembled a crack. And at the time it looked like it might be superficial, just on the surface. But then when I came in today, it looked a lot deeper. So I wanted to see if it would be easy to snap. And, well, it was. The shiny part is where it was still attached, because that part wouldn't have oxidized and turned black. And the black part is where it was torn, because that was exposed to the air and oxidized. That's not focusing. Oh, there we go. You can see the difference in the grain size, I think. I think that's what it is. But snapped fairly easily. So yeah, I might just clean it up on the belt grinder and maybe forge these as individual pieces. I might make a little knife out of this one. This will be a dagger. But I'll set this aside for now and focus on working on this. Also, it's cold outside, so I might sound like I might sound a bit different. Oh, I'll continue tending to the fire, and then I'll continue working on this. in case you're wondering what I've been doing, it has to do with how steel behaves, or how steel changes its structure based on how it's heated. So when steel is heated, its structure changes at different temperatures. It does, varying degrees of different things. And there is a particular temperature in which the steel becomes softer and has a finer structure, something that you want. And it's difficult with my setup to hold that temperature. So what you do is you heat it up over the temperature, for sure over the temperature that you need, and then as it goes, and then you let it cool slowly, so then as it goes down it passes through that temperature that you want, and then it cools down further, and if you do that a few times it will pass through that temperature enough, and then it will change the structure to what you want. And as for that's what the wood is for. It helps it cool down slowly, but I could just leave it in the forge for that. I use the wood because this will keep it straight and straighten it. Well, if it wasn't straight before, it will straighten it. And if it's straight, it will keep it straight. The first couple of times I held it vertically, and then instead of using the wood, I just let it cool in the open air. And then this is the third time that I've plunged it in the wood, and I probably left it in there for about 5 minutes each time, but I'll leave it there to cool down completely in the wood. So I'm just going to leave it. The first time I put it in the wood, it got pretty smoky from the hot metal burning the wood, creating lots of smoke. So I kind of had to just hold my breath and get the fans going. I turned up this fan in the window and brought out this fan to take away the smoke. I also put this on the ground, so that way the smoke there wouldn't be smoke coming from inside the shed anymore. And then I use this fan, turn it up all the way, and just waved it around to move the smoke out of the shed. Sounds like the wood is cracking. It is under a lot of pressure from the clamps, and maybe the heat might help, but these are just scraps. I can get more. Something I was in the mood to do was to make a sword that actually fit in the forge, that wasn't too long, as was this one. It was too long and it wouldn't fit. I couldn't get all of it heated up at once, and then it just kept getting thinner and thinner, and yeah, I've talked about that before. So if this sword were only a couple inches shorter, it would have fit just fine. So I was wanting to make a sword with that in mind. It would be a short sword. And it turned out that the piece I had, where it came from, I'll talk about later. I just kept forging and drawing it out, and it ended up being that size. So that's nice. And from having to heat up the entire blade in order to do this process called normalizing, I found that yes, I can heat up the entire blade at once, and it won't be a problem like that one was. And yeah, so I'm going to probably move this in closer because the smoke has stopped, and turn off the forge and just close down the shed. That's it for the day.